Okay, we're trying this again with a different device. Let's see if it works.
The charge.
Oh. Let's see if it works. Just gotta refresh for a minute. Good morning, good morning. I hope. There we go. Let's hear if we can hear sound. Refresh for a minute. Good morning. Yep, I think we're doing pretty good. There we go. Okay, let me just turn off the sound. Sorry, guys. There we go. Got it. Okay, do you want to say anything?
Now he's shy.
You want to say hi? So, my family, this is my son, Wrenn, for those of you who haven't met him yet. And he's my youngest.
I've been in like 3 village, maybe 4 or 5.
Yeah, you've been in a couple, because you've stopped by to say hi. You were a special guest one time.
I brought my quilts and blankets.
Yes, you did.
You're a professional.
Yeah. So we're on a family trip up in Idaho today, and so we decided to do Village Vibes from the road. And thank you to those of you who are joining. And do you want to say anything else? Okay.
This beautiful quilt.
Yes, isn't it gorgeous? Good morning, Maureen. How are you? Thanks for joining today. Can you see that? It's kind of hard to see sometimes. I have to. Yep, it is. Oh, and now I can see it on my computer now. You want to say anything else?
We're working on the shop.
Yeah, Grandpa and Dad and Wrenn are hard at work. So, okay, thanks for joining us. Love you, buddy. See you in a while. Oh. Be careful. We have a tripping hazard with our camera, with my computer cord over here. So, good morning. This is my mother-in-law. This is Annette Bunce, and we're excited that she's joining us. And we're going to talk about her and this beautiful quilt behind us in just a minute, but I have a couple of just little housekeeping things I want to chat about really quick. So we've been announcing our Crazy Camp, which is our retreat with Janet Nesbitt. It's going to be the last weekend in September, September 25th and 26th, which I believe is a Friday, Saturday. Should I check that? Yes, it is a Friday, Saturday. It's from 10 to 5 both days. We have 2 spots left at the time of this taping. So I don't know what'll be left if you're watching this after the fact or if you're watching it on YouTube. If you're interested, call us. If we do sell out, we probably will keep a list in case we do have cancellations, which are very rare. But if we do sell out, you can call the store and get on a cancellation list just in case. But 2 spots left. We're so excited she's coming. She does the crazy stack and whack kind of method, and it's really, really fun. It's very forgiving. I love it. So I'm super excited. And I will try really hard next week to bring my quilt that I made. It's got stars, and it's really fun. But I'm hoping to make a quilt while I'm at the retreat. We'll see. I'm working at the retreat, so we'll see if I get to make one. But I have one that has houses, and I'm really excited. I have another kit that has hearts, but I think I'm going to bring my house quilt. So I'm super excited to do that. So wanted to announce that. Almost last chance, and get signed up if you want to. Do not wait. And you can sign up on our website. In fact, I will link that right now for you so that you guys can sign up through the link and get signed up. Okay, then in 2 Saturdays on August 8th, we're going to have Schoolhouse at the Village Next Door. So Village Next Door is our classroom space that we have right next to Village Dry Goods. They're connected with an opening, and we're going to be doing. It was a different store that you just chopped over. Yep, it was a store that we just took over. So we are going to be doing demos from 10:30 till 4 that day. So just stop in anytime that day. We're doing demos on some different products and different techniques of ways to do things, and a huge variety of different things. So come anytime that day. Fran says she'll also be running some sort of special that day, but she's not sure exactly what she's going to run yet. So stop by that day, plan on coming in the store, seeing what fun stuff we have, and then shopping whatever sale Fran comes up with. So maybe by next week we can announce whatever sale she wants, but that's going to be super fun. And then one of the cool things, and especially about Village Next Door, is we have all sorts of classes, not just quilting. So we have knitting, we have rug hooking, we have needle punch, we have coloring, we have, I'm trying to think if there's anything else that's just kind of,
Aren't you painted?
yeah, the big painting of the barn quilts. Anyway, we have a lot. Yep, we've done a tennis shoe class. We've done a lot. We've done jackets. We've done bags. I mean, we've done a lot. But we have Jennifer Steed from Steed Creek Designs coming September 19th. She's a rug hooker and a designer of rug hooking patterns, and she will be coming to do a trunk show for us on September 19th from 12 to 1:30. So we wanted to announce that a little bit in advance. If you would like to come, if you love rug hooking, if you don't know anything about rug hooking, I think it would be great to come and learn something new and see if it's something exciting. But I always find it super fascinating to talk to designers, and they're so passionate about what they do, and they just inspire me. Whether they're a designer of something that I want to make or not, I love to talk to designers or hear from them. So put that on your calendar, September 19th, 12 to 1:30. So that's exciting. And then, because I've been talking about this the last couple weeks, I wanted to keep you guys in the loop. So this store sample I'm working on is called Interwoven. It's a decent sized quilt. It's 75.5 by 90.5. And this kit is a little bit special for us because it's not something we normally do at Village, but it does include your backing in the kit, which is really cool. So if you buy the kit, you've got everything you need to make it except for batting. And so we're excited. So this is the pattern picture. And our colors are blacks and oranges and grays, but they are Primitive Gatherings fabrics. So they're black and that kind of cheddar. They're really pretty. So I've been talking to you guys every step of the process. So you know I had to make 240 flying geese, and those are to make these stars. So since I've been here in Idaho, I've made half of my stars. So I have to make 60 stars, and I've made 30. And I think if I get a little bit more chance in the next couple of days, I will be able to, there's a really pretty gray one. I will be able to finish these up. So, but because all my pieces are ready to go, they're super fun. So I've made 30 stars, and I've been having a really fun time with them. So wanted to give you guys an update. We do have kits available in the store for this right now. It's not available online until I get my sample done. But if you love this so far with just the sneak peeks that I'm showing you, you can go into the store, ask for the Interwoven kit. And like I said, it does come with backing. So that's pretty exciting. So, okay. So, I wanted my mother-in-law to kind of talk about just her quilting journey. So she has been a sewer your whole life, probably, right?
Right, absolutely.
And
Family of 6 girls, 2 boys. You had to sew.
you had, well, and that was the era that it was. You know, you made what you
All our
wanted.
clothes. Yes.
You made what you wanted. So I think that's very common history for a lot of our quilters now I'm a different generation. My mom made my clothing, but I didn't. And it probably honestly changed with my generation, where we stopped making all of our clothes and we didn't learn like you guys
It was
did.
too expensive. Yeah. But my mother would get a bolt of fabric, and all of the sisters would have the same clothing.
Matching.
You know, we matched. We'd go to church with our bonnets, and
That's
you know,
really
it was fun.
sweet.
And I made all of my daughters dresses and slips and underwear, my husband's suits. You know,
That's
I
crazy.
did everything. It
That's
was crazy.
really cool.
Yeah.
But then,
Polyester era was a great time too.
then that morphed into your vocation too, your career. So tell a little bit about your career.
Well, I was a family living teacher for many years. Taught for 36 years. I was also a university professor. Taught economics, and always had to have a business. And so fashion design was a business that worked really well. The other thing that then the quilt business came in, and we did embroidery, and we did all of the embroidery on all of the baseball and the football and hats you know, that kind of stuff. And my kids actually had that business.
Okay.
So they made money. I would teach them how to do it, and then we would go from there. But yeah, and then you know, things change. Life, you retire.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I actually had time to quilt. My first quilt, I should get it. I'm used to 5/8 inch seams.
Oh.
And so here I am, I'm cutting out and my blocks didn't fit. And the lady said, well, just trim them down. So I did. So I always keep that one to remind me that it's always okay to make a mistake.
Yes.
So, and they're still beautiful, so that's what counts.
Well, I think it's cool to keep and be able to see that journey of your quilting.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I look back at some of my beginning quilts and I see mistakes now that I didn't then.
Right.
I'm glad that I didn't see them then because I might have been discouraged.
It might have been in the unidentified object. Round file for sure.
But, you know, and I think even in the quilting journey, your interests and your focuses and stuff just kind of change and morph. So this quilt you just finished. When did you get this quilt finished behind us?
About 2 months ago, I think, probably.
Okay. So yeah. So this one is really special. After we get done talking, I'm going to keep the live going, but I'm going to flip the camera around and I'm going to show you guys some close-ups of this quilt because I know you can't see very well. But I wanted this to be the background of our Village Vibes today so that you could see it. And so tell us the story.
Of this story?
Of this quilt.
Well, you can see the purple one that is right here. My husband and I have been married 55 years, and of course you have to have a trousseau. And my grandmother had taught me how to embroidery and to do a little crocheting. And my husband loved purple. And so I made us pillowcases for our wedding night, as well as, you know, the special underwear.
Wedding night underwear.
Wedding night underwear. And I do have that, but I didn't think it was appropriate to show it. But it worked. 55 years later, we're all right. But anyway, that was in my cedar chest. And a year ago, my sister had been collecting some of these pieces. She made the one down here on the bottom that's framed by the blue. And she said, I don't want to do these. I want to do something else. And she gave me this bag of embroidered and crocheted pieces. And I went, well, these are fine, but they don't have any memories. And I love memories. We have 19 grandchildren. We have, I've made quilts for all of them from the time that they were babies, you know, when their baptism, graduation, whatever. Weddings, whatever it is. My favorite kind of quilt and I know Liz has talked about these, but my grandmother, when I was 14, my mother was having her, my brother, and I think he's in his 60s, well, 60 years ago. That seem right? Yes. 60 years ago, when I was 14, went down to King's and bought this pattern. And she showed me how to embroidery, and of course I love my grandmother Gardner, and so I wanted to learn how to embroidery. And I made a memory quilt, and this one is for Kate. This is Liz's.
This is my oldest
daughter, and she came right out and said, "Grandma, I don't think I'm going to do that." But so I've been lovingly embroidering hers, and then I'll put them together. But I've done 5 of them, and a few of them the grandparents have already passed away. The great-grandparents of these children. I have a saying, you know, that
my great-grandma's still alive.
Yeah, your great-grandmother. I have a saying that's in my sewing room. Remember, people will see your quilts long after you're gone, not your homework.
Your housework.
And one of the things as I think about that, I imagine somebody, I just finished a Spider-Man quilt for my grandson, who's 17, and
18 now.
Is he 18?
Yeah, he's from 18.
Oh, crap. He's 18. But anyway, Wyatt is a wonderful young man. And I wanted to do something special for him because he loves Spider-Man.
Yeah.
He absolutely adores him. And I cussed that quilt, but every time I didn't want to spend a lot of money on it because I knew that it was going to be wadded up and put in a corner. I knew I wanted him to wrap it around him and lovingly use that quilt.
Right.
And which he has. But how I started that one is I refused to pay $50 for a Spider-Man motif or whatever, and at Christmas time we went in and bought T-shirts that $5 at Walmart, and then cut them apart and put them, made our own quilts. So, but it cost us $70 to send it to Ohio. So Wyatt, love your quilt. But no, I hand quilted it. I wanted to make sure that it was a forever quilt, and that's important to me.
Yeah.
But when I make the quilts, I just encompass myself with that person that I'm making the quilt for. So that's kind of what brought this out, because I've been doing a lot of family history and cleaning things up. We spend the winter in Yuma, Arizona, and you live in a trailer, it's small.
Yes.
So I have this sign that says live simply, and so I've been cleaning and finding things that of value. And I could not throw these away. Absolutely could not. And so I said, well, make a quilt. And you can find anything on Pinterest. So that's where this came from.
So the ideas and the general basic things. So tell us a few of the pieces. So the purple piece is from your trousseau from your wedding, and then where are a few more pieces from?
Well,
we can't see them all. I'll show them as much as I can. But
my grandmother Olson was a wonderful. Actually, I learned to quilt from her, and I learned to hate to quilt from her because she was so particular about stuff. But she was a beautiful crocheter, and so this is one of her pieces, and it has stain in the middle, but I had to use it. So I just put another one over the top of it, and I don't know who did that one, and then I noticed that the baskets are a little crooked, so.
But they're all hand done.
Well, they're not the same, Mine went up and I don't know, whatever, but yeah. So that's where part of it, and then Frank's grandmother, she saved a lot, and Frank's 100-year-old mother didn't crochet, but I went in and rescued some of her scarves.
101 soon.
And that made a difference too. But a lot of them are pillowcases. Linen lasts a lot longer than pillowcases, so I had to back all of the pillowcases. But the tablecloths that were made out of linen, they were beautiful, washed up really, really well. Had spots on them, so I got rid of those. But
well, yeah, and I think so. I don't know if you guys can see this. Let me see if I can try and show this. But this corner piece here was a tablecloth and probably used
a lot
daily. Used a lot. But she was able to just keep just this one section, and the stains went by the wayside, and that's okay. And there's another piece to this up probably where you can't see. But I mean, so doilies. Okay, we were trying to think. Doilies, tablecloths,
dresser scarves,
pillowcases,
a little bit of everything.
A lot of different things.
I had to have the pink one up there because even though it's worn, that was my great-grandma Gardner's, and she was the one that taught me when I was 14 to really embroidery. So
I think it's fantastic. I think it's beautiful.
And it's worn.
So because I need to understand the mechanic of things, we were talking this morning about how she took whatever piece she could get and then used just jelly roll strips. And then the jelly roll strip became the buffer to trim down or to fit where it needed to go.
I had to fudge a lot.
Yeah, because it's like a puzzle, wasn't
it?
This
is Frank's great Aunt Nellie, this one right here, is the only one I had of hers, and it was just a little tiny smidget of a piece, but it was going to go in the garbage, and I went garbage dumping and and rescued it with a few other things, and I didn't know what to do with it, but I put her name, put it in a plastic bag, put it in my cedar chest. If you smell this, you can still smell the cedar chest.
Well, I love how you did this one where it came over the edge. I think that just adds such interest.
There was a hole there. I had to fill it. And then I had one over here on the side. That's the only one that's the side, because you think you're a mathematician, but then when it gets right down to the grid,
putting it down together. Well, I think something like this is very challenging because as quilters, we're used to squares and all the things matching, and something like this you have to think a little bit outside the box. But I think it was fantastic. I think it's a labor of love. So one of the other things that I really wanted to talk about, and this is definitely one of Annette's specialties, is documenting things. She is an avid journaler.
I love journaling.
We will spend, after she goes, we will spend years reading her journals. And they will have documented so much of our lives as well, because
I hope so.
she documents things for all of us as well. But especially a quilt like this needs to be documented and journaled, because Annette has these memories, and she's
Nobody
told
else
me
does.
the memories, but I'm not going to remember. And so we're going to do the grid, we're going to take a picture, we're going to do all sorts of things, and then it will probably take you a little bit of time to really put together a little document about this quilt. And we need to kind of make sure that we've got this documented, because these are memories. But the other thing I love about this is that it took all of these old memories and morphed it with something you love, which is quilting.
Mhm.
And you've turned those two things together into, I mean, it's priceless. It truly is priceless, what you've created for the family. And some people appreciate it maybe a little bit more than others, but I think all of the quilters appreciate it. All the family historians appreciate it. And I think with this history, it will double it. Do you know what I mean? It will mean something to everybody once you're able to document it.
Well, it was hung at our Lemhi Peacemakers 4th of July quilt show, and I had many people come up and say, "Oh, I remember that. I remember that.
Like the design?
I wonder if I need to teach my grandchildren how to do that." So
Yeah.
that's one of the things that I've tried to do with this, is at least try to teach them how to do simple embroidery. This is just simple cross stitch, and most of them will do it.
Yeah.
I love my Kate, but yeah, it'll be for her. So she's almost ready to have her quilt put together.
Yeah.
So that's what's special.
So I think it's really cool, and I love it. So have you guys ever done anything like this? Is it interesting to you? Do you just enjoy looking at it when other people do it? And you kind of mentioned your sister Helen, and she has done similar things
She does
with saved and found and thrifted cross stitches, which
yeah.
I think are so
She
cool.
likes animal, Disneyland, Disney type things. So
Yeah.
we find them everywhere. I mean, estate sales, DI. Some of mine came from estate sales, but a majority of them, I'm a saver.
Yeah.
I'm a saver. I want to touch tangible things, and I appreciate the work that people do. So
Yeah. Well, I think that's one of the things that us as quilters do appreciate, is even if it's not something that we do, I don't want to embroider, but I can surely appreciate it, and I can surely value what someone else has put their time and effort in. So, anyway, and that's something we really didn't talk about, but Annette was the Quilter of the Year for her Lemhi Peacemaker. She was in the parade. She had a special show this year, and I missed it, and I'm so sad that I missed it. But
it was fun.
that was pretty exciting.
We
And
have a lot of sweet. I'm just a medium. I quilt for my grandkids. Some people quilt for their shows, for competition, and that's not me. I want a quilt that you can wrap around and drag and not feel bad if it's in the dog pen. So that's another story.
Okay, Angela joined. She said,
Angela.
Anela enjoyed learning and making her quilt. She has then taken that skill and made bags and added to sweaters. A great memory for a grandchild.
Well, Anela's father actually did one.
Oh, did one of her squares?
Did one of her squares. Actually, my son did some for our grandchildren, and I thought that was pretty sweet. So
Yeah.
Uncle Brad, that's Uncle Brad's.
Yeah, that's pretty exciting. So, and that's really cool, Angela. I think that's a good point, is that you can take that skill and morph it into whatever your interests are. You know, if you don't want to make quilts, that's okay, but maybe you do want to make a skirt, or you do want to make a bag, or, you know, it's always good, I think, to have some basic sewing skills.
Well, I think it's easier for grandma to teach grandkids than mom to teach
it
their
is.
children. It is.
Yeah.
You know, for some reason, mine will sit back down and, Grandma, will you teach me how to do that? And I have a granddaughter, Holly, that has gone into the business, actually, and I'm so proud of her for what she's able to do. So, but I know we made doll clothes together when she was 5 and 6 years old.
Yeah. I think my mom has made doll blankets with almost all of her
Right.
granddaughters. And I think they've got good memories of
And
that.
I know, I
too.
hope they do. I hope they do.
Bella says, I love my quilts too. They have history of my family in them.
Now-
And I think that's
Oh.
not something to be diminished.
Hi,
I
Bella.
think putting your love while you're making a quilt is huge. I think that love goes with the quilt.
Bella's grandmother, great-grandmothers actually did some of hers, and they are no longer with us, but they are in that quilt that Bella has, so.
That's preserved. That's really true. And I think that positive energy that we create in ourselves while we're quilting, doesn't it make you just feel, because we spend with these
Lots.
quilts hundreds of hours.
And hundreds of dollars.
Yeah, lots of money, but the time, for me, the time is the most valuable part of it.
Right.
And that energy that you put in, it brightens my day while I'm making it, and then I hope that people can feel that love and energy. I truly believe that. I really do.
I have a quilter, Tina, that does all of my long arm for me, and one of the things that she made the comment is she wants to know about the quilt.
Mm-hmm.
Because when she knows about the quilt, then she knows where she wants to put them. And I really admire that. I admire what she's able to do. So
Yeah.
she puts the bling on some of this stuff. But anyway, it's wonderful.
And Angela says, when you wrap the quilt around you, Grandma is hugging you. And yes,
Exactly
yes,
right.
hugging you for generations, right? And I hope that Spider-Man quilt is passed down to grandkids. Wyatt's grandkids know.
I hope it's wore out before they get
That's
there.
true.
Actually,
That's
our daughter, my grandmother, the polyester quilt never dies, right?
Yes.
So when Frank and I were married, my grandmother had taken all of my polyester clothing and cut them into squares and put them into a quilt for our wedding. And then but she didn't give it to me. She gave it to Frank.
Oh.
And so now our daughter has it, because every time that she was when she was hungry or she was cranky or whatever,
sick or
Frank could take the quilt and her and wrap it in it. And she does now have that. It's
Good.
wore out. The flannel doesn't last as good as the polyester.
The
but
flannel doesn't last as long, the thread and the quilting doesn't last as long, but man, you're
that
right.
polyester lasts forever.
will last forever. Okay, well, thank you to those of you who commented. I really appreciate that. That makes it super fun for us on this side of the camera if you comment. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you got inspired by this quilt behind us, because I do think, and tell us the name. What did you name it?
Actually, my sister chose it. It's called Frozen in Time.
I love it.
Hi,
and
Bella.
it's fantastic. And I think, out of all of the things that I've seen you make, I think this is a crowning jewel.
My husband loves this the most. He said, "Who's going to inherit it?" And I said, "You're going to put it in my coffin."
Your coffin quilt? Good. I think that's important.
I don't know.
But I don't know if we should actually bury you with it. We might take it out.
I like taking the ring
I
off
think
and-
this needs to be saved forever. I could honestly see this in a museum. So it's fantastic. So I just hope that you are just inspired by this. Angela says he wears it in the kitchen, and while he sleeps. Spider-Man opens Thursday, so he's excited. So maybe he'll take it to the theater. Although it is July. Well, Thursday will be. Is Thursday still July?
I don't know. Ohio it can be cold.
Not right now. I'm sure
No,
not.
probably
So
not.
next week I will be back at the store. I will be with Fran, which we've been separated for a couple of weeks. So I hope that you join us next week. We're so excited you joined us today. As Fran would say, be kind to someone else, be kind to yourself, and get a little time for quilting. So thanks for watching, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye.